There it is. I just...
Joey, it's not working. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just use your image I have, all right?
That's fine. No, that's cool.
All right, thanks. All right, guys.
I still get to see Joey's face that way.
Turn on that radio and back here. The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, not tonight. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and listen to the music.
This episode of Auto Dealer Live is brought to you by TrueCar.
And we're live. Welcome to Auto Dealer Live. I'm Dave Cribbs.
And I'm Mikey Okendo.
Mikey Okendo, Director of Marketing here at IPD.
That's right, that's right.
And so this is our 300 and, how many, Lou? 303. 303. That's kind of a cool number.
I kind of look like John Cena there for a minute. I don't know why I did that. It was like this band, I don't know, going across my face.
I guess I haven't been watching him lately, so I don't know.
Oh, no, you shouldn't. I mean, it's not worth it. It's just a...
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Well, hey, it's our Christmas episode. We've got, 72 hours or so before it's Santa time?
I would say so. I'm not very good at math, but that sounds about right.
Have you done your shopping?
Sure. Yes, we'll go with that for anybody watching. Yes.
I'm that guy that goes out like at 10 o'clock at night on Christmas Eve.
Right.
And like if Walgreens doesn't sell it, you ain't getting it.
You're just desperately trying to find anything that's open. Does
you're in
Waffle
trouble.
House have gift cards? I don't know.
All right. So, hey, welcome auto dealers. You know, the show where dealers go. This is our Christmas special, and you've probably noticed already that Mr. Dave Villa, our fearless leader, is not on set today. He's a little bit under the weather, so for those of you on social media, just go ahead and blast him, make him feel better, and he'll be back with us, I'm sure, next week. Are we doing an episode next week, Lou?
Oh, yeah, we are.
We are
That's
on.
right.
We're on like a microphone.
We don't take days off.
Well, actually, we have Monday, Tuesday, so we are taking that off. So.
Technically speaking, we're taking a day off.
Yeah,
But
the two. It's two.
yeah.
Cool. Well, you know, dealers are gearing up, Michael, for really the biggest week of traditionally it's the biggest week of the year, the week after Christmas in the car business. You know, everyone's trying to do that last minute deal before the year ends, and everybody's, you know, getting their business and people are buying. It's a pretty cool time.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk today to some dealers about, you know, what's going on in their world maybe next week, and maybe what they think about 2018. We're also going to talk about some breaking news that we just found out on MSN.
That's right.
And a few other things. So how do you feel, man?
Man, it's going to be good. It's always fun. I mean, this is always a good time of year, isn't it? It just feels nice. It doesn't feel nice in Florida because it's still hot, but it feels nice, like it's a good atmosphere. I just love Christmas time, so.
I love Christmas time too.
Yeah.
Have you watched Elf like 4 times already, or
at least 5? No.
Christmas Vacation, something
For
like that?
sure. I've seen that. I've seen. I'm kind of nerdy, so I've seen Harry Potter.
Right.
I've seen that. I mean, I consider that a Christmas movie. I don't know, like at least the first one.
Right.
Of course.
Christmas, Harry
Yeah. Well, look, you got to watch it. There's this part where they have Christmas. It's like 10 minutes of the movie, and that's what does it for me.
Yeah, the only time I watched Harry Potter was with Jacob. That's about it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I got to go
Unbelievable.
back. I have to confess, that's one that I haven't seen. I've seen most movies, but I never watched the Harry Potter series, so
Have you
I
seen
got to
Lord
check it
of
out.
the Rings?
Not, you know, hey,
Right,
look,
Not really.
Me and you together. None of them.
Come on, man.
I watched the Flintstones. Does that count?
What about claymation? You like those old claymation movies
Oh,
for
thank
Christmas
you.
time?
Thank
No.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like 45 when they started those. No, hey, you know what? It's good to have you here on set because I got to give you props, Mikey. You know, you step in last minute. You've done it several times, and you're a natural, man. You know, this is a pretty. I don't want to pat ourselves on the back too much, but you know, this is a show that a lot of people tune into. And has a great presence in the auto business. We're so thankful for that. But just, you know, most people would be a little gun shy about stepping in. Boom. But you're the man.
Yeah, it's fun. No, it's fun. And this is a perfect episode. We get to talk about Christmas stuff and what all is going on at people's dealerships. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, we'll have fun. We'll bring some serious content as well for those of you who are watching in the auto business, obviously. Yeah. We're going to have, well, let's just introduce our panel. We're going to do that. We're going to go to break, but we're going to announce who's going to be on the show here.
Yes.
It's going to be, I'll take the first two. It's going to be Tyler Brown, salesperson at Mercedes-Benz of Durham. And then we've got Doug Sprinthal, director of digital retail at Walser Auto Group.
That's right. Then we've got Joey Little. He's the executive director of communications and digital strategy at Auto Alert. And of course, last but certainly not least, we have Jennifer Briggs, director of strategic accounts at Dealer Teamwork.
It's going to be a great panel. Look, if you're watching and you're on social media, go ahead. It's your opportunity. We are going to be reading the comments live on the air. Make sure that you're commenting on Facebook. If you have a question for anyone on our panel, we'll try to get that in. And Lou, you'll have to tell us if we're doing any kind of call-ins today.
Oh, we are. We're doing call-ins.
We are doing call-ins.
Yeah, we're doing call-ins.
Okay, so we're using the 813-574-1820.
That's it.
If you want to call in, if you have a question as we get into the discussions with these dealers and vendors, if you want to call in 813-574-1820, we'll get you live on the air. So we'll be right back, right?
That's it, right after this break.
Hi, I'm Chip Perry. The Pledge was and is an action plan designed to address head-on the concerns that many of you told me about right after I took this job. Thus far, our Dealer Pledge has been aimed at fixing the major pain points that you told us about related to our product, our customer service, and our consumer advertising. I'd like to reiterate that our Dealer Pledge is our ongoing commitment to you, our dealer customers, and we will continue to work hard to improve our service to you.
Oops.
We are back. What's going on, guys? And
I just lost my ears there.
Cribs lost the headphones. It's
Yeah,
gone.
I'm good. I'm
And it's
back.
back.
All right.
I'm back now. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We're getting ready to start our discussion with our amazing panel. Tyler Brown, Doug Sprinthal, Joey Little, Jennifer Briggs joining us today on Auto Dealer Live. Welcome everybody to the show.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing great, doing great. Everybody else, jump in.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome to have you on. You know, let's go to Tyler Brown first. You know, Tyler, we kind of had in fact, Mikey brought out top 10 best times to buy a used car, and Christmas Eve, and what was it? Christmas Day,
Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. That's
and
right.
the month of November, month of December, all in the top 10. Traditionally, this week after Christmas is one of the best weeks in the car business. Tyler Brown, how are you feeling about next week?
Whew. Well, I'm definitely getting excited. I'm bringing a mattress into work. I don't think I'm going to be going home that often. But you see, I planned in advance. About 2 months ago, I got my wife a job at the dealership. So I really don't have to worry. I can just stay there for the entire week, and I'm not really going to lose out on any family time.
That's commitment.
Strategic.
That is commitment. We just got to get you got to get your
All the way.
You got to get your dealership to build a daycare facility so you get the kids in there too, and you'll have it made. But yeah, Tyler, what is the feeling right now? And every time I ask Mikey, and I'll bring this question back to you, Tyler. But every time I ask about anything to do with a particular dealership or person that's on the air, I don't expect them to say negative things about their own dealership, right?
Of course. Yes.
But I'm still going to ask the question, like, Tyler, what's the attitude in the store? What's the and if it's not your store, maybe your best friend's store down the street.
Sure.
When it comes to your friend told you about it. When it comes to December and this week coming up, I mean, is everyone really fired up, or what does it look like, or do we have a little bit of hey, December's not been so great. The year is starting to decline a little bit. What's the attitude like?
Well, that's actually a really good question. Our dealership at Mercedes-Benz of Durham, it's definitely a lot different than any place I've been to. I think the main feeling is extreme excitement because they know that if someone walks through those front doors in that last week, there's a good chance that they're buying a car. I mean, unless you really try your hardest to not sell them a car, it's going to happen. So we're really excited. Everybody that walks in that door, we're taking them, we're giving them the best luxury experience possible, and understanding that they're also probably pretty stressed out this time of the year. So we're sort of acting as, in a way, therapists, spa advisors, so to speak, and make it exciting.
Do they have those? What is a spa advisor? That sounds like a great job. Like just
yeah, that's a job I want.
I think it's a lady that checks me in when I get the massage.
That's it. Yes.
There you go. Well, it is. You know what? Just the fact that we're talking about this I believe, is kind of cool that we kind of experience at least something different that kind of breaks up the year for us in December. Mm-hmm. So let's go to Jennifer Briggs, and Jennifer. Glad we got you on Skype because, we were going to have you on the phone, and then we heard you got your makeup all did just to be on camera. So,
you know what? I don't think you guys are doing Skype enough anymore. And I was doing a lunch and learn for some new advancements that we're putting out, and also handling a big issue for one of our dealers. And I'm like, and I did my makeup for Skype while I was doing all of that. So we talk about multitasking at the end of the year.
Nice.
Nice.
I think I got everything in place.
Yes.
That's awesome. So what would you say to dealers, and especially salespeople and sales managers that are on the floor kind of going into this week? I mean, any words of wisdom, any advice you would offer in this opportunity, because it's a short window?
Hire the spouses.
It is. It's a short window, and I was just giving some advice to an F&I manager friend of mine just last night, because of course it is going to be insane. And Tyler, I'm glad that you got your mattresses right there in the store. Very important. Protein bars, good, and then just be ready. I know that we cram it all in at the end here, and I know a lot of people that I've been talking to are like, man, the beginning of the month has not been so great. But I'm like, yeah, but it's December. You're going to have an insane close to the month. So just be prepped and ready, and keep your energy up. If you are in a market where you've had a little bit sluggish start to December, just know that it's going to be crazy insane. And one thing I think that advice I would give is just be ready and make sure you're communicating back and forth between the departments. If you're a salesperson, when you get up to the desk, do what you've got to do to make it as quick as possible. Because like Tyler said, everyone's going to be stressed out. It's going to be hectic from the holiday. They might be running returns for Christmas gifts, and this is something for them. So do what you have to do to step it up and make it a better experience, and make it as fast as possible, because it is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
those are great points. I mean, see, this is why we have stars on the show, because those really were really important words. I hope every manager is gearing up their sales force and kind of giving those types of tips as they lead into next week.
Yeah, exactly. And something I just thought of when listening to you, Jennifer, is, and I wanted to go to Doug with this real quick. Just like Jennifer and just like Tyler was saying, and like we all know, there's no way to escape the insanity of this time of the year. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can prep all you want, and preparation is good, but ultimately there will be a rush of people. It's going to be, a lot, and so that's just, there's nothing you can do about that. So Doug, what is it that you're doing, let's say on a digital front at your store, at your group, to prep and be prepared for this time of year?
We're actually we're taking a little bit of a gamble. This will be my 35th Christmas season.
Wow!
And we decided, I know it's probably started selling cars before a lot of you were born, but it hasn't changed that much. December always is the same pattern. The first 4 or 5 days are pretty good. The middle 2 weeks, by the end of that time you're suicidal, and then 3 days after Christmas we're automotive geniuses again. This happens every year. But what we're doing differently this year is we're taking a gamble and we're doing no traditional media advertising across the whole group for the period between Christmas and New Year's.
Wow.
It's ballsy. I don't know if it didn't come from the owners, I wouldn't advocate it, but it's going to be exciting to see, because we think the indicators are there that it's going to just be fine, but we won't know until the 2nd of January when all the RDR counts come in.
Well, no matter what happens, Doug, you'll be safe if it came from the owners, because had you brought that to the table, we would have to place our bets.
No, you always want to have a lot of fingerprints on the murder weapon, right?
Right, exactly. And let's Doug, I can't help but ask you right now, because since you are the director of digital retail there for the Auto Group, what do you feel looking back on 17? What do you feel that you guys really kind of did well, and what do you think you really need to focus on for 18?
We worked on, and we're just getting started, and we're starting to get good at it. I think we worked on branding via social media and some traditional media as well. I'll tell you what we did in December that just worked amazingly well for very few dollars. We partnered with a local TV station and the police in both Minneapolis and St. Paul, and we started a toy drive in all the stores and really pushed it hard digitally. Mm-hmm. We received $20,000 in cash and 5,000 toys. I mean, it blew up locally. And it's just the amount of money we spent versus the branding that we get back is something that we're going to explore going forward. It's pound for pound. It's just a great way to cut through the noise. It's much better than buy a Corolla, get a turkey, I think. So we'll find out.
Yeah, and it really is a win-win, not only for the kids that'll benefit in the community, but you're also, I'm guessing, when you have a toy drive like that, people are physically coming into your store that maybe not have ever been there, and they're getting exposure there. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right, and we're a one-price dealer group, so we're not grabbing them at the door. But you talk to a lot of these people, and they say, "We heard about the toy drive. We think this is a great thing you guys are doing. We'll come baback and see you guys when it's time to shop for cars." And that's really all we want. I mean, if you can get a physical introduction into the company for that, it's really, I think, money and time well spent. Plus, it's great for the community too.
Thank you, Doug. That's terrific. Let's go to Joey real quick. Joey Little, thanks for being on today. We love, you are so out there with the videos and encouragement and things that you teach and train in the car business, and hey, we're just grateful to have you here.
That's just because I'm a complete attention whore. That's all that is.
Right.
So, I'm willing to admit it. Well, aren't we all? We want to make sure that people know that we know a lot of things. First of all, I got to ask Tyler, since he's down there in Durham. Tyler, are you taking any time this season to take the wife and the family to the Angus barn for Christmas festivities, or are you working too much?
Yes and yes. I don't know too much about the Angus barn, but I've been to Ruth's Chris, and definitely having a good time so far, getting that prime steak.
I got to ask, what is the Angus barn? Is this a steakhouse?
I spend a lot of time in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and the Angus barn tends to be the most Christmassy place I've ever seen in my entire life, including the North Pole.
Okay.
So.
Oh, wow.
What's going on my list?
Yeah.
You should come to Frankenmuth, Michigan. That's where it's the world's largest Christmas store.
Frankenmuth.
I'll tell my mother.
Well, y'all should come to Tampa, Florida. We got a Walgreens right down the street.
We do.
Hey, let's go to Joey. Let's go to Joey and Joey. I want to ask you really essentially just the same thing that I asked Doug about, except for you have exposure with just all kinds of dealerships. So let's talk about what do you feel maybe dealers were starting to get right in 17, and what do you feel they need to focus on for 18?
So 18 is going to be, and just put this out, every dealership that I talk to, start to learn how they operate, their processes, their culture. They all say particularly the same thing. We're different. We're different than every other dealership out there. Our culture's different. Our people are different. We just have a different way that we sell cars. We have a different way to do all this. But when it comes to their processes for talking to their customers or marketing to their customers, they talk to all their customers like their customers are exactly the same. So I think that 2018 is going to be the time that a lot of dealerships are starting to realize that you've got to have more intelligent conversations with your customers and not just some follow-up process that's been, that's antiquated because it's easier to do. And I think that's what 2018 is going to get into that. We're looking at more, marketing that you can pinpoint your marketing now instead of just a blanket campaign.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. And Mikey, one of the things I'm noticing is I think that, and I think this is a really good thing, it's a healthy thing, right? Because for so many years, the car business, you heard Doug say earlier, the car business really hasn't changed that much, and it really hasn't. But now we're starting to get a little bit more kind of, I don't know how the best way to say it, but it seems like we're starting to get permission, if you will, within the industry to start branching out and doing some different things. So I feel like 2018 will maybe dealers will maybe take a little more risk and get a little bit more creative about their marketing. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that it's gotten to the point, just like Doug spoke about earlier, I think a lot of dealers are getting to the place where they understand that technology, social media, all the types of things you can do with digital marketing, it's not just that they're advantageous, it's that we're at a place where I think they're starting to understand there isn't some sort of like wizardry to this. This isn't magic. It's just another way to communicate with people. It's the same thing you do face to face with people every single day in your lot. You don't break any normal rules. Just like Gary Vaynerchuk says sometimes, and many other people echo this. You don't do anything different on social media than you would do in real life. If you don't put content out there and not care about other people and expect them to care about you, it's a normal type of thing. You don't ask people for their social security number without saying hello first. I mean. And so I think that a lot of dealers are realizing this.
We did in the 80s, but go ahead.
Oh, did you? How'd that go? Was it good?
Well, we just asked for their last four.
Oh, well, see, that's not
well,
bad.
And then their first three, and then
okay.
the middle two.
The middle two, that's really where it becomes unacceptable. That's too far.
Yeah, so I think you make some great points, Mikey. Let's go to Jennifer and let's talk about that. Do you think that dealers are going to get a little, I don't want to say riskier, but they're going to get, maybe get a little more diversified in 2018 and start doing some things out of the norm to see if they can get a return?
Well, I don't think it has to be out of the norm. I do think that 2018, because of the market conditions, are going to have them looking for efficiencies. But I love the fact that what he just said, it's not any different. I was just sitting with a group, went on a little road tour myself earlier this week to visit some of our dealers, and we were talking about it. I said, you guys, this isn't any different than the road to the sale in the showroom. You just have to take that you've known and you've been doing for how many decades and flip it to an online presence across the different media that you have. For some reason in this business, we've made it seem like it's so complicated to do these things. Social media is not complicated. It's a conversation. Mm-hmm. Joey and I talked about that back when he was one of my vendors. It's just a conversation, and you have to meet your consumers where they want to talk, and that's not the same. And I think as dealers start to take a different view on it, as this is a conversation that I'm going to have. This is my showroom, whether it is physically a showroom or virtually a showroom. How do I want that experience to look like? What do I want my customers to do? And quite frankly, what steps do I want them to take next? That's the number one thing where I see it's like, you guys, it's not just up to your partners. They're partners for a reason. Have a conversation on what you want that experience and what you want that page or that product or that widget to look like, and where you want it to take your consumer.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that brings up another good point, which, and I'd like to pose this to Doug. Doug, what is it that you're doing over at your dealer group to create a situation just like Jennifer was talking about, where you don't have an online experience that doesn't match up with when they walk in the store? You don't have a situation, which I know that you guys are good at that over there, so I'm curious to see what you're doing to make sure that those two things align, because I know a lot of people just, even though we know that it's not complicated, it does seem to be an issue.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, anyone walks in the showroom who has been driven there through, marketing and gets a different message. They're expecting the same message.
Sure.
Not only they're expecting it, but they're expecting the person that they're going to meet to have that on the forefront of their mind. It probably doesn't even occur to them that they're not going to know. So let's go ahead to Doug, and maybe you can share.
Yeah, it's actually really easy for us. I came back to this group in 2004 because in 01 they became a One Price dealer group, and we've never looked back. So it's really easy to align your marketing with a showroom experience, and the game plan, the strategy is to stop trying to trick people. And we stopped trying to trick them a long time ago, and it's worked really, really well.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. Let's go back to Tyler Brown. Tyler, thanks for hanging in there with us. We've been talking a lot about the digital marketing aspect, but let's get back. Salesperson at Mercedes-Benz of Durham. Tyler, tell us, maybe share with us some things that you personally in sales want to maybe implement or look at for 2018. Maybe what kind of what your vision is for yourself.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So our dealership has been here for 3 years. So as you can imagine, we're coming right around to that point where we're having customers come back in from lease returns. And of course, the average ownership is 3 to 5 years. So that in itself is going to build. But what I'm doing personally is focusing on building my personal brand. And it sounds so cliche, but to harken back to Gary Vaynerchuk, the jab, 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 right hook, making sure that I'm putting myself in the community, making sure that I'm being a part of my local Rotary Club, joining a BNI group, like actually doing things in the community, giving as much of myself as I can on a human-to-human level without the expectation of receiving. Because when people walk in the door, I already know what they want, and that's simple. But I think that there sometimes can be a disconnect. The salespeople come in and they're chomping at the bit and they want to sell, and it's all about the money, and that makes sense. But I think they're about 3 steps too far, not thinking of what's going to lead to the money, what's going to lead to those raving fans. So for example, today I had 2 cars pulled up. One was a brand new GLS that I had sold 3 months ago. It was done with. It had been sold. The other was a customer I didn't even know, a future customer. Both of them walk in at the same time. I'm always going to take my customer first, even if it means that I didn't get that sale.
Sure.
So that's going to be where I do a lot of my planning, because of course selling Mercedes-Benz, these are people that a lot of my customers don't really worry about They worry too much about money. So I'm always going to hedge on knowing the right people and building the right relationships over just getting people through the door and putting them through my process.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny, Mikey, how you can, and I guess maybe, maybe it's a sign of my age too. But when I see certain mannerisms or certain things that salespeople say or do, and do is the big key. But what Tyler just said about focusing on the customer that he knows is a recent sale that's certainly probably not there to trade after 3 months, unless he's dealing with me. But and I only trade because next payment's due, so don't think I got money or anything. But here's the deal. I always said, like if you're, I used to watch customers come in the showroom and they'd come in and ask, I'm here because I need a part, or where's your parts counter, or I need to get to service, right?
Right.
And the guy or gal that pointed the customer, towards
just in a general direction,
towards the way to that, I was always like, that's the one that's not going to make it. That's the one that will never be, if they want to aspire to do more in this business, that's not going to be them. But the person that grabs them by the hand and says, yeah, come on, follow me, let's go down to the service department. Let's meet Mr. So-and-so, our service parts manager. That's the person that, a dealer puts his eyeballs on. So,
what was really cool about what Tyler said is he's focusing on the long term. He's not just in it for the one sale. He saw the opportunity to go for the guy, for the potential sale, the new customer. And it's not that that's bad, but he saw the long-term benefits. He's thinking further ahead. And that's something huge in this industry. He's thinking, years in advance, repeat customers. That's a fantastic thing to be doing, and like you said, that's just a really, really good. That's something. There's more than one Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And when we sell that service, when we're selling that customer on, hey, we're going to be there for you, we're going to give you service after the sale, and that's one of our unique selling propositions. I'm going to be here day after tomorrow. Well, when that person pulls up, that's the follow through, and I love that. Let's go to Jennifer. And Jennifer, something that Tyler talked about, focusing on self-branding. We know now, obviously, as individual salespeople, we're branding ourselves as well, like never before. But let's talk about what real branding is, because I don't want to. I think a lot of people get confused about maybe being an internet star, there's nothing wrong with doing tons of video marketing, as well as even funny things and things like that. But there's a line between substance and hokiness, I think. And let's talk about the right way to do social branding going into 18.
Absolutely. I think it all comes down to, it's not just social branding, it's branding or marketing altogether. What is that value that you can bring? What's your unique selling proposition? And I've seen a lot of people come with just like kitschy type things, but it's really about who you are. It's so simple. People buy from people that they like. So for social media branding, if you're a salesperson and you're just thinking about getting, or you want to grow your brand online, I used to tell my teams this all the time. I hired you because you have a likable personality. I need you to show that to the consumers, whether it's live on the showroom or you're doing it through a video strategy, just in internet responses, or you're doing it on social media. Be you, be likable, and explain to them how you're going to help them, what's going to happen, and what you can do. If you look at some of these social media megastars that we have, they're not doing some type of kitsch. It's them. It's Elise. It's Mike. This is who I am, and this is how I intend on helping you and getting the word out there. And don't be afraid to ask people to share it. Those are people in your network for a reason. They're there, and talk about it and ask for that help, because if they like you and you did a good job with them, or just like with the toy drive, right? Those people are going to be happy to share that because you helped them, or you helped their community, or you supported a message that's important to them. And that's what social media is about. It's about community. It's about engagement. It's about being real, not being fake. Those are flash in the pan type things, and they won't last.
Exactly.
Yeah, great words. Great words. And real quick, before we go to Joey Little, I think we're doing something special here.
Yeah, and real quick, for everybody watching, by the way, we're going to give away a free signed copy of David's Leader Be Lunch book. Just share this video while you're watching. We want to be able to give away some stuff for you for Christmas, so please do that. But going back to what Jennifer said, one of the things that was really cool about what you just said, to dissect it a little further, is with anybody who has a really successful social brand, a lot of times it's what they're doing to be likable is making their brand about their community, their people. It's not all, a lot of people want to be these me monsters and go on social media and just talk about themselves and their deals and their inventory and their cars.
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag me too.
Okay, go ahead.
And
Go ahead,
yep. And it's like, that's not the point. The point is the community. The point is who your audience is. It's about them. It's not about you. So if you just go online and blast out some stuff about you all the time, it's probably not going to be very good.
Yeah, and I'm going to just give a quick tip here. I think that, one of the things you have to think about when you're self-branding is not only your motive, but what is it? Maybe you need to kind of self-examine and even come up with a little mission statement inside that way you're convicted of that every time you speak, and it will come through. Like one of the things that I believe obviously that getting someone's attention is the first step to any sale. So it's great that we use this to do that. But my underlying thing is always like, okay, I want to get your attention, but then I want to come through for you. Like, that is my deal. Like, I just, that's what I always think. I want to come through for that. I got to come through. I got to come through. I got to come through. Right. So have that servant kind of attitude behind your social or your branding, and I think that's a recipe for success. But let's go to Joey Little, who's an expert at branding, and I won't use the words that he used a while ago. But Joey, why don't you offer up some advice here for not only salespeople but also for anyone in general with branding, but also maybe even talk for just a moment to dealers about maybe how they should view individuals within their store who are self-branding well.
So these are just my thoughts and my opinions. I'm no expert. I'm just somebody who's spent a lot of time in this area. This is way back when we built Vince Solutions, one of the first companies to do a lot of social media marketing to our dealers through Facebook and also through YouTube and stuff. And we kind of, started that path. But what I see nowadays with a lot of salespeople, because I think I'm connected to maybe, 1,200 people that work in dealerships across the country with Facebook, and I'm going to tell you that 98% of them are just doing it wrong. In my own opinion, they're just doing it wrong. It's become this laziness factor that if you log in online, if you put up an Instagram post, if you post on Facebook, that you're doing some kind of personal branding, when that's just not going to cut it anymore. I mean, it's just not. You make a video, you do a walk around, you may support Toys for Tots or put out a tweet about a coffee shop that you really love and that your followers should go there, but it comes down to just not being lazy. You cannot rely on social media. You cannot do that. You've got to be in the streets. You can't sit behind your keyboard and put up inventory posts and about how you're going to need to sell this by the end of the month so you can make your nut. It's about getting into what Tyler said earlier about going and being a part of these clubs, about these groups, about going to happy hours, about going to networking events. It's about doing that. And I think that is 70% of what salespeople are missing out of, the people that I see that are online. It's too much relying on the digital side of things. You've got to become top-of-mind awareness is dying. Branding is dying because we're constantly being bombarded more than ever in the history of the world with brand after brand after brand. Right. And you got to press the flesh, man. You can't rely on the digital side. Sure.
Yeah, it's funny because actually we just had a comment on Facebook come in from Ben Adler. He says, "What value do you offer the world?" And that's kind of going back to what you were saying. And I know Tyler just wanted to go to you real quick because it's funny what Joey was just saying. A couple of weeks back we had, and I'm sure you guys remember, Ali Rada on the show, fantastic #1 salesperson in the world, and he echoed a lot of those same thoughts. He was saying, sure, being online is great, but it actually wasn't the biggest part of what he did. A lot of what he did was going out into the community, being a person who engages in just everything going on around him. Sporting events, like you said, going to meetups, events, conferences, whatever's happening in the local community, helping at everything he could, just showing up and being present. So Tyler, I wanted to go to you because I know you're a salesperson on the floor. You're doing this every day, and obviously you've got the right attitude. So I wanted to see some of the things maybe that you're doing that are like that you could maybe share as a piece of advice or some little tips to people who might be listening who are living the life of just checking off the box and the list of things that they should be doing on social media. Got to post this today, whatever. And it's just a checklist versus being meaningful and intentional.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have some specific things that I do, and I think it could translate over into other industries as well or other departments. My primary thing, though, I create a piece of value. So whether it's a handwritten letter or whether it's an actual letter, and then I show up to mostly realtors' office, insurance companies' offices, and I provide this value. Typically, it's something that's going to have to do with their industry. So, for example, in insurance, I might write them up an article about failure, an article about how sometimes you really have to have that 3 to 5 year picture. With realtors, I might write them something, how to do their job better, how to be able to be more productive in a day. So stuff that I'm an expert at in my own world, but obviously they're experts at selling homes. So I'm only going to talk from, where I know I'm talking about. And also other things. I mean, find a way to get your customers to come back. The worst thing in the world is when you have people coming to your dealership 6 months later and they don't know who you are. Find a way to get them back. Maybe your dealership offers free car washes. Well, you know what? Send a letter to your customers. Say, hey, I haven't seen you for your free car wash. Or maybe your dealership has a really cool coffee bar. Hey, stop by and let's have coffee sometime. I'd be happy to take 30 minutes. Chase your customers down like crazy. Offer to pair their garage doors. Just get back in front of the people that already bought from you. And it needs to be a religion, the religion of you and the religion of what you can do for them. And you'll really see some beautiful things happening when you're only giving without expecting them to buy a car. I'm not saying that you don't have to ask for the business, but saying that that's not really what's important when we're 3 to 7, 9 months in. What's important is just continuing to show the love that you have, that you're there for them. And that is what comes off as authentic. And that's what is authentic.
Sure.
Yeah, and I can't help but get excited when I hear you talk about those things, Tyler, because what the thing I was thinking as you were walking through that is that it's a sales lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that you lead, right? Because when you talk about doing a thank you card, or you talk about taking something to realtors or whatever that might look like, most salespeople would say, well, that's a pretty good idea, or they might even try it, but it's like, they're 100 cards in and they're kind of done, right?
Right.
No one came in and bought 5 cards from me, and I sent 20 cards out last week, right? I'm done. But it becomes a lifestyle. It's like a workout or a diet. When you discipline and it just becomes a lifestyle, you see the results. It's not like instantaneously, but and I love that commitment, Tyler. I can't say enough about it. Let's go to Doug Sprinthal, and I'm going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to have time to probably cover this just for a few minutes. We talked about this in the opener, Mikey, about this news that came out on MSN today. Is where I saw it. It's probably on different sources as well. But subprime defaults soaring at an all-time high.
Good news for Christmas, right? That's
good news for Christmas. Yeah, just what you want to hear. And it's funny because we're reflecting on 2017. We all know in the auto business, the last 6-7 years, whatever it's been, has been back in the heyday. It's been a great ride, and I'm not saying it's over. But what I am saying is, there are things around us that point to the fact that we need to be prepared, because it might look a little bit different in 18, and those dealers who kind of set themselves up and really understand what's happening in the market are going to capitalize. Doug, what's your opinion on this?
Well, I'm probably not the best person to answer it, because subprime is a very small fraction of our business. We've got 25 franchises in 2 different states, and it's maybe 5% of what we do. We're doing stuff outside of that to prepare for the future. We're really close to being able to roll out, and hopefully it'll be in the first half of 2018, the ability for customers to do complete transactions from their home. And that even means e-signing contracts and leases and everything. We've been working on this for 5 or 6 years. We're 95% of the way there, so that's what we're excited about. The subprime thing concerns me because a lot of people in the business have known nothing other than year-over-year growth since 2009. For those of us that have been at it a bit longer, that there are downtimes too. I think for the dealers that survived the recession, we figured out ways to survive at a 10 million SAR. So if it drops down from 17 to 16 or 15, we'll make less money, but we won't have the fear that we had back in 2008 and 9, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well then you're working at a smart group. Let's go to Jennifer. What are your thoughts, Jennifer?
I think that, I have dealt quite a bit in subprime in my career, and I was running so efficiently lean in 08, 09, even going into 010, where we were running right to the banks to cash the contracts that day. So I agree with Doug that you have got to be prepared, and there are some dealers even with that being followed up, we just had for independent dealers, one of their best indirect lending partners has decided to get out of the game. So I think that is definitely going to change the face of the market, especially on used cars and going into subprime for 2018. And I think you have to have a game plan. If you are playing specifically in that subprime space, I mean, we all know if we've been in there, it's a higher risk, it's a higher reward, but what's going to be coming back? What's that going to look like on your profit and loss statement when those loans are defaulting? How are you set up with your lender? I think, again, I know we say this, of course, it's because I came from the accounting office. Like, you've got to be prepped for efficiencies. Hey, I learned the dealership from the financial statement forward. So everything I do is all about being efficient and knowing how that's going to pencil at the very bottom of the day on the statement. And I think that it's something we've got to buckle down, and that may not always have been your job. You may not have been the person looking at what does that look like on the chargebacks? What does that look like when those things come back? But somebody has to be the champion in the store, and if that has been a big chunk of your business, get a step up and buckle down and figure out how that's going to affect your plan for 2018.
Yeah, and Mikey, here's the thing I've seen traditionally in the car business is, and it's just not just the car business, but the car business. One of the things I love about car people is we're really good at finding solutions really fast. Like, we see the writing on the wall. I'm not too concerned, but
Sure.
The way I look at it is that it's an opportunity, and the reason I say that is because we know that it's not going to just affect someone who's dealing heavily in subprime. Of course, they're going to be the ones that will feel the biggest impact. But like Jennifer mentioned, it gets into okay, lenders and not just necessarily that kind of box we put subprime in,
Right.
but it has a ripple effect, and it also has a ripple effect on the inventory, what's available out there in the used car market and things like that,
Yep.
especially coming off of a high. So the point is that smart dealers, I believe, see opportunities. We've heard Matt Lasco talk about this before, but really eyeballing the pre-owned market and setting yourself up for success when it comes to your inventory, not just today, but 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, knowing the indicators, knowing now when you can call someone up when the market's up and get them back in because of that equity situation. We all know about the equity mining, stuff like that. But the point is, smart dealers really they really look at this and they go, okay, how do I make this work for me?
Right. It's not about it's being a smart dealer. I think a lot of them they're never going to get that tunnel vision. They're going to fight that need to just keep buying the same thing over and over again, keep getting the same inventory, like you said. They're going to shift their needs based off of the market, and ultimately that's something that's going to happen, regardless of how things turn out. So, but it'll be interesting to see. For sure.
So let's go back to Joey. We'll get if you want to comment on that's fine. But and then we're gonna kind of go around and get everyone's closing comment. Anything that we talked about on the show today, anything that maybe was on your heart or mind before you came on today that you might want to share. So let's go to Joey Little.
I just wanted to say, why did it take you 303 episodes to invite me? What's going on? This is a great show. No, but I appreciate you guys reaching out. This has been educational, and this has been fun. I just wish that the words that we could say in this industry could reach everybody in this industry. We're a large group of people that are either selling cars or selling things to help people sell cars, and I think that there's a lot of great information out there that's not getting to the masses, and I like to see things like this that are increasing that reach, having dealers and people that are selling to dealers giving their 2 cents on how things work. And I don't think we all need to get along at all times. I think there needs to be a lot of balances and checks. Just just like us here at Auto Alert, we have our own competition, and we need to keep ourselves in check the entire time while we're doing this. We just can't get lazy, and I think the dealers need to be the same way. So. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Joey, and tell dealers how they can find you, or those in our audience who are watching that say, "Hey, I want to learn a little bit more from Joey."
Just if you type "social little man" all one word into Google, you'll get about results of about 1.5 million. Just click on any of those links. No, I'm also available at Auto Alert. yeah, it's just, and the last name.
You might get some other sites that pop up when punching that in. By the way, go ahead.
That was a past. That was a past life. I've had all those scrubbed. We're good. We're good.
All right.
No, it was awesome to listen to Doug and also to Tyler and Jennifer. So yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. Let's go to Tyler Brown.
All right. Well, yeah, thanks. It's definitely a pleasure being on here. I mean, if there's one thing I could part with, it would be just the message to all the salespeople out there. Regardless of how your 2017 went, whether it was magnificent, whether it maybe had some low points, it's all over with. I mean, right now you choose today that the rest of your life is going to be exceptional, because I mean, life's going to happen to us no matter what, and all we do is choose how we define it. So I'm definitely I follow you guys. I watch these shows all the time, and I definitely get a lot of good nuggets, and I'm definitely going to continue to tune in. But yeah, my message is think long term, and if it's not long term, the days of the 10-pounders are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You're gonna have to depend on people loving you, and you're gonna have to love your customers. You just have to love them.
That's right.
That's all you got left.
Tyler, I can't help but sit here and think, if I'm a consumer and I stumble across this show and you're on it and I'm hearing it, I'm thinking to myself, how do I find that guy? Like, how do I find?
Yeah, I want to get to that guy.
That's the sales guy I want taking care of me. So, hey, Tyler, you sound like an amazingly integral guy. I'm so happy that you were on the show today, man. You're giving me hope and faith again.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now, so how do people find you?
All right. Well, I am North Carolina's Mercedes guy. So you can either Google that, or you can Google NC Mercedes guy, all one word. On Twitter, Instagram, that's at NC Mercedes guy. Obviously, Instagram, that's more of my amateur photography stuff. But I'm going to start rolling out some content, less about cars, more about life. Because I think the cars, they sell themselves.
Sure.
Nice.
Well, hey,
nice.
We appreciate you being on, Tyler, and I know you've definitely given us all some good nuggets of wisdom as well, along with everybody else on the panel, of course. And now, Doug Sprinthall, Mr. Doug Sprinthall, your closing remarks, sir.
Well, first of all, Tyler, if you want to escape the blazing heat of Durham, come on up here and we'll find something for you to do. No, I love your attitude. You're gonna be, if you're not already successful, you will be, because you get it. I wanted to share something talk about the long range. Everybody that looks at the future of the car business right now is kind of freaked out about ride sharing and autonomous vehicles. And I happened to be at a seminar, and there was a speaker, and I'm the world's worst salesman. I forgot his name. But, he said a couple of things that really resonated. And one was, the first thing about ride sharing that's becoming the popular thing to say is, why would you want to own something you only use 15% of the time? And he goes, you just described my toothbrush, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to share my car with you, and most people aren't going to. And the other thing about this autonomous driving vehicles that he pointed out that I never thought of was this. He goes, think about how much of an untapped market that's going to open up. Think of and this is the counter to the way that we're all looking right now. Think of all the 80 to 90-year-olds that have to give up their driver's license because they're not physically able to drive anymore. They're still going to be able to drive. Think of all the blind people that have never been able to drive a car. In our lifetime, we're going to be selling blind people cars. And I thought, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And you got to be positive if you're in the car business, right? Because otherwise, this is the worst job in the world. So anyway, I thought I'd share that. Thanks for having me on, and Merry Christmas to everybody that's watching and listening.
Doug, we so appreciate it. How do dealers reach out to you?
Very simple. Doug at Walser.com, and it's Walser with an S, Walser.
Doug, promise you'll come back, because you're one of those guys that I was describing earlier when I said car people just know how to find solutions, my friend. So I appreciate you being on.
Yes.
Yeah, just email me in 10 minutes notice, and I'll drop whatever I'm doing.
There you go, Lou. There you go. Schedule him in the last minute. There you go.
He's good for that. I know that.
All right. Awesome. We appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. And now, last but not least, Jennifer Briggs, your closing remarks.
My closing remarks to the audience and to everyone who's going to watch this back on the recording for 2018 is be real and be relevant. Know who you're marketing to, know who your consumer is. Tyler knows his buyers. He made the comment for his buyers, money's not an issue. They're a Mercedes buyer, but I'm prevalently a Chevy girl. So know your consumer, regardless of who they are. Be real and be relevant. That's what people are looking for. They don't want something fake. They don't want somebody that they have to not trust. And in the journey, whether you're the salesperson on the floor or you're the responsible for the digital strategy, right? Make sure you're putting that good foot forward, real, relevant. That's my closing remark.
Awesome, Jennifer. And
Yes.
and how do dealers and viewers find you?
You can find me if you search Jennifer Briggs. You can email me at jennifer@dealerteamwork.com. Or, you know what? If you want to get a hold of me really, really quick, shoot me a text. 517-366-0219. I communicate and help people all over the industry, and literally, I mean it. Reach out to me, whatever questions you might have, whatever you need help with. I'm here and I'm available.
Thank you, Jennifer. You're amazing as always, and I want to thank Tyler, Doug, Joey, Jennifer, all of you for being on today. Merry Christmas, and if we don't see you before, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Same to you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you, thank you,
too.
thank you so much. So there you have it. What a great panel today, man. It felt great, didn't it?
It did. I perfectly finished drinking all of my water right at the end of the show. It's just everything's aligning. The stars are aligning. This is perfect.
There we go. And you know what? The cool thing about today was, kind of went into today thinking, hey, it's the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
It'll be a little light, a little festive. Man, we got into some great conversation. I know
good.
that when I leave here, anytime we do a show, and it's almost all the time, I guess I got to confess, but,
Right.
when I can walk out and be thinking about something that was said on the show and how I'm going to use it and how it's going to make me better, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, what Doug shared was fantastic. I don't know if anybody watching this was thinking the same thing, but when he was sharing some of those thoughts about autonomous driving, it's one of those out there, extreme topics that everybody talks about, but everybody's unsure about. And he just shared a few very positive insights from a dealer perspective about why, maybe you shouldn't worry about it. This is actually an opportunity just like anything else. Right. Man, that's great.
We talked about that. Smart dealers will find a way
That's
to
right.
say, hey, there's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Lou, I know you got your hoodie up over. It's like it's 20 degrees in here. You got your hoodie up and everything else.
It's a little nippy.
Okay, it's a little nippy. So, do we have already, or does the contest go on after the show as far as the book?
It goes on, and then we'll have an announcement by Mikey. What do you think? 4:15?
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, sorry.
5.
5:15.
Yeah. 5.
5:15.
Yeah.
Hey,
exactly.
This book is flying off the shelves, by the way. The Dave Villa's latest, Lead or Be Lunch, and this is a signed copy.
That's
and I
right.
want to check something here because I just want to see a little something.
And it's not too late. You can still share the show. Even though the show is over, surprisingly enough, it'll still be here on replay afterwards. So please, even if you haven't done it yet, still share. You can have an opportunity to win the book.
And in true guy form, not guy form, true car guy and car gal,
Yes.
but definitely this guy is a car guy. In true car guy form, it's signed in a green Sharpie. So there you go.
Of
Hashtag
course.
boom. And that's going to be a great gift for someone for Christmas. And
Perfect timing.
good luck. Hope you're the winner chicken dinner. And how much time do we have, Lou? We got just a couple of minutes.
Yes.
Let's talk about a couple of upcoming shows or guests.
Yeah.
Next week, you won't believe it, but next week, do you know who's in studio next week?
I don't know.
Right here in studio.
Is it you?
Dave Villa.
Yeah.
Dave Villa. Mr. Dave Villa will be back to
Yes.
join us, and we want him to be 100%, and he'll be
Yes.
back just before we go into the new year, because we are doing a live episode next week, right?
Yes, we
That's
are.
right.
Okay.
gonna be
And
good.
so there's only one episode of Auto Dealer Live for 2017. And let me just ask you personally, Mike and
Yes.
Lou, what have you guys started to set the 2018 goals for yourself yet? I mean, don't feel bad if you haven't, because we're not there yet, but I'm just curious.
I put my goals down on paper already. I'll be
Nice.
honest with you. And I thought next week's show should be a great show to have some people call in kind of give us their expectations of what they're planning for next year.
I like that.
That's
At least a portion of the show next week. So prepare your kind of goals and your aspirations for 2018. Call into the show. You know what? Hey, I'll
be
even
fun.
go one further. Because if we have any Christmas firings, like let's say you get fired right before Christmas, la 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 la, get out, that kind of deal. If you, no, I'm just kidding. But look, if you're thinking about a career change, or maybe you have aspirations to move up, maybe there is a recent move. This is a great opportunity. You heard what happened today. Tyler, obviously a superstar salesperson with an amazing attitude and humbleness and integrity, just kind of exuded today through the interview, and you got a guy like Doug, who's a major player at a huge auto dealer group, basically saying, "Hey, man, I'm just saying, like
gets out of the weather.
If it gets hot over there, come on over here." So, so the point is, hey, there's opportunity here. Yeah. So, if you're ever looking for something, make sure that Auto Dealer Live might be a format that you want to explore. So
I was looking for the opportunity to shoot like a bottle rocket off for the new year in the studio. I think that'd be safe. I think that would be reasonable. I think
so. Mikey will be looking for a new position next week as well.
And if you do that, I'd probably be looking for a job too.
And of course, I'm from Plant City, so you just kind of hold it in your hand and just let it go.
Right.
Very safe and secure. Yeah.
Just like that old joke. What was the last thing he said? Hey, watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mikey, seriously, what have you thought about? Like 18, like particular goals yet? Or
yes. Yeah. Most all of them are related to either traveling and personal development. I always try to at least, me and Alexis try to go at least one place a year, get away, do something interesting, expose ourselves to new cultures, environments, scenery, that sort of thing. So that's always on the list. And then, of course, personal development goals. I've been writing those things down and making sure to pursue that, because that's just something you got to do.
Awesome. I love that, man. I love hearing that. This is the type of team that's here, man. I'm so thankful to be a part of this organization as well. We missed Dave Villa today. He'll be back. And by the way, Tommy Elwell wasn't here today. He was out doing sales, which is what he is, he's number one here. So it's what he excels at, and he was doing that. So I'm sure that we'll be hearing from him soon as well. Yep. And to everyone out there in the viewing audience, to all the dealers, all the listeners, all of our viewing audience, we can't thank you enough. Merry Christmas.
That's right, and Happy New Year if we don't see you until after the New Year.
Yeah, but we will see you next week.
But we will.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.